So I'll hand over to Sue now.
Well, Grandmother Mulara, thank you. That was amazing. I loved it. And, you know, we don't really have, our work is different. And as you talked, I could see how it's so overlaid with each other and connected. I haven't really thought about crystalline grids and consciousness grids, but I work a lot with human consciousness and raising the vibration and getting us cleaned up. And so I assist people in aligning with their divine self and allowing that energy to move back down in so that they can ground fully in their physicality. Like there's a level of integration that is needed for humanity. And it's more than what most people have been doing up to this point. It's for us to be able to open to the divine and still be firmly grounded on the earth. We are part of nature. We, you know, if you look back, I agree with you about the dumbing down. And if you look back, ancestors were deeply connected with nature, and there was this, programming or technology that pulled us away from that connection. So reestablishing that connection both with the greater us and the physical reality where we live is critical. And what I especially love about, because you're saying the crystalline grid needs cleaned up, and my focus, it's like I'm a gardener in consciousness. It's like my in humanity, there's this subconscious stuff that we carry that affects our health, our experiences, what we draw to us, our life. You know, it really affects us. You're saying it's down in the grid. Well, I don't disagree with that at all. I love that idea, but it's like that subconscious stuff that we're not aware of. If we were aware of it, we would do something with it. Like most of the people watching this have been working on raising their vibration and becoming better people. They would deal with that if they knew how, but a lot of it is subconscious. And so there are ways, benevolence and grace was one of the things we were talking about too, because I know the universe, the creation, God, all that is being wholly beneficent. And yet things happen that aren't so fun. And what I've been shown is we make agreements, and often they're through coercion or through complicity or, ignorance, misinformation. And that's the dumbing down. Like we could get into that, but we won't. But that, I was shown even just in the last year, it's possible to start breaking, like individuals and them, like them throughout time and space can break these agreements to take on that collective agreement. And that as each person does that and is empowered to take back their sovereignty and break those agreements, it starts affecting the entire human collective, the whole consciousness, because it starts leavening, like new thought patterns, new ideas. It starts lightening it up around everywhere. So I just keep waiting for the 100th monkey thing. Like if enough of us clear things up, break those agreements, allow new possibilities, allow our true worth and potential to start dawning on us, like I get really excited. This is probably the amethyst grid, the new grid that you're talking about. And I'll just say one more thing, and then I'm going to open it up again. You're working on the grid on the planet, and I'm actually setting up like a vertical grid, like grounded and into the divine, and allowing the person to be fully integrated. So that makes me excited how we're working together and didn't even know it. Of course, we're all working together, but that's what I have to say to start with.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you, Grandmother Laura. And both of you have just touched on fascinating topics, and I love how you've connected them together. I would like to ask both of you, although Sue, I think you started to answer this question. What can our viewers do to better connect with Mother Earth?
I think actually Sue pretty much brought it in by saying ground. It's important that we all ground. So that in my world, that is, it's as simple as taking a breath in and taking that breath down through your body and consciously putting your taproot into the earth, grounding yourself into the earth. And with the next breath, breathing that up from Mother Earth into your heart, into your body, and you can go again, back down again and ground. So if you don't ground, if you just go out without grounding, you end up being like a space cadet and nothing changes. All right. You've got to ground so that whatever you're connecting to and whatever work you're doing is actually going to make a difference. It will make a difference to Earth. It'll make a difference to you. It'll make a difference to the tree that you're sitting under, wherever you are. You need to ground. Oh, through the breath. That's what the question was about, grounding, wasn't it? Through the breath is the easiest and quickest way to do it. But it's about, working with your conscious, the intention of your inner eye and guiding yourself to do that connection into the earth. And the crystalline grid, when you practice your putting your taproot in, you can actually go further and consciously connect to the crystalline grid. And you'll feel the difference in the energetic frequency. Will that answer the question?
I was going to say intention and attention, working with the breath is so important. Yeah. See?
I love that, because this is what I remember about the first time I heard you, Grandmother Millar, is the taproot thing, because I'm always going taproot into the divine, taproot into the physicality, into the earth, because you need the taproot both directions and they need to be integrated. And that integration, you nailed it. It's like a lot of people want to go out and be spiritual and others only want to be physical. And it's been almost the greatest challenge for humanity right now as we move through this quantum leap we're making, is to allow that to integrate so that you are grounded in both places at the same time. And what I would say, if they even use their intention, I am willing to fully integrate the divine in my physicality. I am willing to, because as you state the possibility and the willingness, you will be given more opportunity, direction, awareness, and do the breathing exercises that Grandmother Millar suggests. And if you're not feeling it, ask for help. Help me to fully integrate. I am willing. What do I need to know? How do I do this? And you will find, as you ask the universe and creation and all that is, your guides and helpers, whoever, as you ask for help and instruction, it will come to you. The universe has your back. All it wants is to help you move forward into your full potential. And so as you ask, as you are willing to take responsibility and do concrete things like the breathing exercises, like expressing intentions of your willingness to go beyond that dumbed down state. One of my, Jean Houston, amazing person that I worked for a while, she had a great statement. She said, we're all like top of the line Stradivarius violins, and yet we play like we're little plastic ukuleles. And I love that. Like, can we just, I'm willing to go beyond plastic ukulele-ness and start discovering more of what's true about me and allow that to integrate and be fully grounded into my physical experience as well. So there you go, a little extra.
Beautiful.
It's all about the start of the spiritual journey. It is a very personal, very individual journey, and it's it's very much, people want to look out and find out more. You know, they want to do the research and spread out and think, oh, I need to learn more. I need to find out more. I want to learn more. But the very important part is the inner work and focusing inwards and finding out more about oneself. Because as you said, to reach one's true potential, we have to do the inner work. And I know that this is more deeper stuff, you know, and it's not necessarily fun either. One has to look inwards and find out, you know, what it is that really makes you tick. What are the things that you struggle with about yourself? What are the things that you hide from other people about yourself? And having a look at it, the things that, you know, whether it's traits or, you know, qualities, or whether it's things that you've done in the past that you're just not so happy about. And it's really taking a look at these and why they happened. How did that happen? Why did that happen? Why did I react like that? How did that lead to this? And really looking at that, and then doing the forgiveness, the deep forgiveness, and letting that go so that it no longer affects and impacts you. And that then helps you move forwards. And it's things step by step. And sometimes, you know, the same old thing crops up again and again in different ways. And that's important. And it's really learning to also read the signs, read what comes into your life, understand why something's happened or is happening again. And these things, I mean, it's all part and parcel of the spiritual journey, which is so important. And also learning that how the work that you do on yourself, that ultimately affects others around you in a positive way, and others, the other side of the world, in a positive way, because we are all connected. And that's quite a quantum leap in understanding. But once you get that, I think you can't really undo it. You can't unget it.
We must love the unlovable within us that we think is unlovable. We must. And once we have embraced all aspects of ourselves, warts and all, we then can integrate all those aspects, not separate. And in the integration is the key forgiveness piece. Forgive yourself for not being skillful at the time when that happened, or the time when you did this, or the time that you did that. Forgive yourself and forgive others. We can forgive others. When we've truly forgiven ourselves, we can truly forgive others. And we find that we're no longer held down by crippled psychically because we're holding on to something we don't want to release or reveal. Love the unlovable. Discuss the undiscussable. And it will dissipate and integrate. We are all things.
That's brilliant. Thank you. And along with forgiveness is a real understanding that it's that judging others, you know, by your standards or societal standards is it's not the best thing to do. You know, if you're putting out judgment on others, then you're judging them by certain criteria, and you don't necessarily know their life experiences and what, you know, makes them tick. So it's judgment and forgiveness work hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, what we judge in others, we get to keep, because what we're judging others is in us. Oh, I remember the very first time when I found that out. Oh no, that can't possibly be in me. Whoops, yes it was. And a bit of digging has been a very great thing to release that. It really great words, Becky, great advice.
One of my favorite teachers said, everyone has a story. And that's always stuck with me, because when I remember that everyone has a story and I have no idea what their story is, then it's easier to be in a place of neutrality and not judgment. And Becky, I also wanted to touch on what you said, which the whole inner work, or some people call it shadow work. And for those who are just getting started with it, I think it's so important. Like when I'm in situations, something happened recently where I had an encounter with someone who was very unkind, and it's easy to get caught up in that situation, and to be able to step back and stay heart-centered. And then after, I ask myself, what can I learn from this? And if you get in a habit of asking that question, what can I learn? Even though it's easy to be like, oh, there's nothing for me to learn from that, right? Like that person was unkind. But if you ask yourself that question and go deep enough, there was a tiny little piece in there. I was like, oh, okay, I can learn from this. And usually there's some little nugget there that you can learn.
The question to ask yourself is, where have I been that? Where have I been unkind?
Yes.
Absolutely. And also, why is that triggering me? Are they really unkind, or am I just very sensitive to that? Why is that triggering me specifically on that point? I know this is kind of reflecting in action, reflecting in the moment on the shamanic term is stalking oneself, because you are like having a hawk's eye on yourself and your reactions to everything that happens to you. Why do I react to this in a certain way? And once you start stalking yourself, you can start to observe and build up a picture of, what really affects you and makes you tick, and why does it do that? And why do I keep reacting to this? And how can I learn not to? And that's, it's, as I said, it's a very personal journey. Yeah.